Well, hello there, my young readers, and welcome back to the channel. And if you're new, welcome. We've got another story for you guys, and it's part of the Thomas and Friends collection. So, if you don't have them, go ahead, go get your snacks, go get your drinks, pause this video, run to the bathroom, come on back, and we'll get started. Stay tuned. The name of this story is called James Goes Buzz Buzz. This is part of the Thomas and Friends series. Enjoy! It was a sunny day. Chirp, chirp, sang the birds. Buzz, buzz, hummed the bees. Trevor the tractor engine was hard at work. Chug, chug, James pulled up. "Hello, Trevor," said James. "You look as busy as a bee." "I am," said Trevor. "Buzz, buzz. What is that noise?" asked James. "Bees," said Trevor. "I'm taking this hive to the station. Buzz, buzz. Buzz the bees." "Bees are very loud," said James. "Do not make them mad," said Trevor. "They may sting you." "Humph," said James. "I'm not scared of a bunch of bees." James puffed off. The next day, James chugged into the station. He saw boxes and bundles and bags, and there was the beehive. People rushed this way and that. Bump. A porter bumped into the beehive. The beehive broke. Buzz, buzz. The bees buzzed around the station. Buzz, buzz. The bees buzzed around James. "Buzz, buzz off," said James. The bees did not listen. The bees buzzed into James' hot boiler. One of the bees burned his foot. Buzz, buzz, buzz. The bee was angry. He stung James on the nose. "Eek!" tooted James. "Bad bee!" James tried to make the bees buzz off. Chug, chug. James chugged out of the station. Whoosh! He spun around on the turntable. Buzz, buzz. The bees liked the breeze. Splash! He tried to wash them off. Buzz, buzz. The bees took a bath. Puff, puff. James blew smoke at the bees. Buzz, buzz. The bees did not budge. James had an idea. He turned around. He chugged back to find Trevor. Buzz, buzz. The bees were home. They buzzed back into a beehive. "Good bees," said James. "Goodbye, bees." Well, that ends our story. And that story kind of hits close to home for me because I have a fear of bees.
You know what? I did not know that about you, little darling. But that does explain a few things.
Explain what exactly?
Well, I've noticed that we might be outside talking, and if there's any bees that you happen to be aware of, you get real skitterish. You know, there's a saying, and this fits you to a T when it comes to bees. You ever heard of the saying, a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs? That's you.
Yeah, I've heard of that before. And you're probably right. It probably does fit me to a T because if I see a bee or know a bee is around, I can't seem to help my reaction. And it is, I do have a fear of being stung by a bee. That's just something I grew up with. I've never really, I know bees have a place in our ecosystem. What they do, we need it. I know that. But I try to keep my distance and I'm hoping they keep theirs. But I just have a fear. It's like I also have a fear of needles. I don't like needles at all. So I just, this is just kind of how I deal with it. It's just a fear that I have that I've not been able to shake.
And I get it. I respect it. I mean, that's your fear. I get it. I have my own fears that we're not going to talk about here and now, but I respect it. I get it. So, it's just something that's there. For me, I see the bee. I think the bee's doing its job. I do mine. I respect the bee respect me. I go on about my daily day, and hopefully it goes on by its daily day. So we have no problems. I don't try to swat at it, run from it. I don't try to agitate it. And that may be what you can try to do, is just try to be really calm around the bees. Because in the story, James had a really big problem with the bees, and because he had a big problem with the bees, they kind of stayed and hung around him.
Yeah, he had a problem with the bees, and the bees ended up having a problem with him. And he didn't take Trevor's warning to heart, because Trevor told him, "Don't make the bees mad. I'm here to tell you, don't do that. Don't make them mad." And he did. He did it by accident because remember, the bee landed on his boiler, and his boiler is hot.
Yep.
Period. And when it landed, it burned his foot, and he got mad and stung him on his nose.
And that kind of tickled my funny bone, because I'm like, ooh, the bee got mad, and he got mad for what? Because the boiler was hot. You didn't feel that before you stepped down there on it? But, James, he tried his best to get rid of him, but no matter what he did, those bees were hanging around. And I'm thinking that's because after they had the accident with the bee hive and they got knocked out of their home, they had nowhere else to go. And since, James accidentally made one of the bees mad, they decided that they were going to make James their temporary home. And James tried everything he could to knock him off. Nothing worked until he thought about Trevor, made it back to Trevor where the beehives were. And they all, they got off and they went home to the beehives.
They sure did. And did you notice James, at the end, he said, "Good bees." And then with a little bit of sarcasm and a little bit of spite, "Goodbye, bees." I thought that was funny. And that was his true feelings about it. Not good bees, but goodbye, bees. And I'm right there with you, James. Goodbye, bees.
I bet you're right there with James. It would be a fun video if we did deeper dives on phobias. I bet we could really get some great stuff with that. Well, that's my time, little darling. And I will see you all in the next video. Until then, y'all, bye!
Well, there goes Miss Triangel. I think she had a pretty good point about doing deeper dive into phobias. I think that'll be a great video. I'm going to look into that and get back with you all. But I hope you all enjoyed this story. And until next time, my young readers, I am your little darling narrator, out.